Oh,
Always.
I wish that.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Meet Us in the Ring podcast. It is Mary and Maddie as always. As you guys can see, we have a special guest today, Ruby Raze. Thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate this. This has been like a month or more in the making, but we're finally here.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. My October was like super packed.
No worries. Well, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, plug your socials, whatever you feel like saying, and then we'll get started.
Okay. Well, for those that are watching that don't know me, I am Ruby Raze. I am known as the equal opportunity ass kicker because my propensity to fight males as well as females. Currently, you could watch me on WoW Women of Wrestling. I wrestle as Reina Del Rey on there, and depending where you are, couldn't tell you where you're going to watch it. But if you go to our website, www.wowe.com, you can figure out where you're going to watch it.
Perfect.
All right.
I see that Maddie kind of has like the WoW color scheme going on in her background.
Oh, yeah.
That like light purple hue.
You do. It's pretty nice. It's nice.
Thank you.
Well, Maddie, do you want to go first?
Yes. So every time, we don't have guests on here very often, but when we do, I like to do my research.
Mm-hmm.
So my first question is, and I have them here so I can be professional. You were PCW Ultra Women's Champion for over 600 days. What was your favorite title defense from that reign? Can you tell us about it?
COVID. Actually, that was my favorite title defense because I actually got the women's championship January 2020, I want to say, and I took the title off of Sumi Sakai, and then literally, I think we're getting ready to do our next show, and then COVID hit, and California got shut down.
My gosh.
So that's really why I had the title for so long. I'm sure I would have defended it just as long, if not longer, but we wound up going into COVID after that. That was the weirdness that happened there.
Oh,
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Like just how literally you can go from, I'm traveling, wrestling, doing all these things, and it's like, nope, everything has to stop. And like that was such a wild time. It felt like a fever dream.
It was completely wild. Fever dream is actually the best description of it, because you go from, at that given point, I was about 12 years in the business and traveling every weekend, sometimes during the week. It's like 3 days gone, 4 days back, 2 days gone, 3 days back, to nothing, absolutely nothing. And that was, it was a big shock to the system, but I was down here in Southern California, and I'm really good, like, friends with B-Boy, who's down here too. And we ended up breaking COVID protocol and wound up hanging out with each other because we're just like, we're not doing this. You can't see anybody's stuff. So it was really kind of nice. Me and my friends from down there wound up just going surfing all the time. We surfed during COVID. Instead, we couldn't wrestle, so we surfed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to backtrack just a little bit. So you said you've been wrestling for 12 years, or is that as of 2020? How long have you been wrestling?
16 years, but that's 5 of those years I spent as a manager, like a wrestling manager for various people, mostly Tyler Bateman and the original Violence Unlimited, which was Simon Gotch, Tyler Bateman, and Funny Bone. So that was the first 5 years of my career.
And what got you into wrestling? Like, what was it that drew you to it?
Glow when I was a child. I was such an itty bitty back in the day when Glow was on TV, and that's honestly what got me into wrestling was Glow. And then I grew up, and my brother was a I don't want to say collegiate. He was a high school wrestler, and they used to do these really cool things where they would bring wrestling mats to our house in the middle of the night, and they'd hold, it was almost like Fight Club, but for wrestling in our front yard. So I got to sit there and watch it as a kid. And then my brother taught me wrestling, And, my brother's a state champion. My father was a wrestler and a boxer. His father was a wrestler and a boxer.
Wow.
So it's kind of just, it's
in your blood.
Yeah.
That's so cool, though. And you're currently wrestling in, what is it, Santino Bros? Is that like where you do most of your shows?
That is my that's my school. That's where I came up in, Santino Brothers Wrestling. Currently, I am contracted to WOW Women of Wrestling, which severely inhibits my independent wrestling shows that I can do.
Oh, okay.
However, I'm still free to train wherever, so I'll train at Santino. I'm not doing, honestly, right now, as of date right now, I'm not doing much of anything because just found out I have a torn meniscus. So
oh no,
I'm gonna have to have surgery, and then sucks. Like it's been terrible for the last 2 months. Like I could hardly walk, and I knew something was wrong, but I finally got the verified results, and it's torn pretty bad. So
I feel like that's the most common injury amongst wrestlers. Like it's just those knees.
It's the knees. It's usually a lot of people get like a torn ACL. I don't know which one that is specifically. I know the meniscus is like ligaments inside, and apparently I tore mine enough so it's like hanging off the inside of my knee and it's hanging there. So
oh no.
But I'm getting surgery, so I will be fine.
Yeah. Maddie, did you want to go?
So I saw this like in your kind of I think it was one of your bios on social media, and then you said it at the beginning. Your nickname is the Equal Opportunity Ass Kicker. I love that. I just want to know like more about that. Like, where did that come from? Like, when did you kind of pick that out?
I actually, interestingly enough, I don't think I picked that out. That kind of just came to me. So when I started wrestling at Santino Brothers in training, I got to wrestle really quick, and they were giving me a bunch of small guys. Like, and when I say small guys, I mean like not to like bag on anybody, Eli Everfly size, like small guys to wrestle. And at one given point, I got just frustrated because, like, I'm 5'9" female. I'm towering over these guys that you're giving me. Like, I don't get it. Like, there's no challenge here. All my matches are easy. So I went to my trainers and I said, hey, I want some bigger guys to wrestle. Like, give me some challenges out there. And the original person I went to, Joey Chaos, he laughed at me. He's like, girl, you got to tell Mongs about that one. You got to tell Mongol. And I was like, all right, let me go talk to the other owner. So I went to the other owner. I was like, hey, give me some big guys to wrestle. I want something worth it. I want to struggle. And he started laughing at me, and he's like, girl, you got to earn that. And I was like, give me BC Killer. I asked for the biggest and baddest. I did like the prison part. I'm like, give me BC Killer. Deathmatch wrestled for Santino Brothers, weighs like 350 pounds, like big guy. And he's like laughing at me. He's like, you gotta earn that. And next thing you know, I had one show, and then the next one it was against BC Killer. And as I'm cutting for a promo for this match, I say, I asked for this. I actually did ask for this. I'm being actually truthful. I said, hey, I asked for this. I wanted big guys. And so I'm like, I'm going to prove to you I am an equal opportunity ass kicker. Like I said, that's a promo. Stuck. So
I love that.
Awesome.
I love when it just comes naturally and it just works.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of big guys that you wanted a match with, I want to talk about this picture right here with Mr. Jacob Fatu. And you say in your caption that you wanted to have a match against him. But I need to know more about this picture. Where did you meet Jacob, and how did this come about?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you where I met Jacob because it feels like I've known him for that long where I actually don't remember. So Jacob Fatu is actually a really good friend of mine. I met him somewhere on the indies at some given point, and every time we saw each other, we got along really well. Well, in that getting along well, at some given point, he wound up on the other side of the ring for me at PCW Ultra.
Nice.
And if you look around, there's actually pictures of me literally kicking him in the back, in the face, and stuff like that. he was someone that I enjoyed wrestling with, and he's a big guy. The thing, someone let me fight this man. Jacob actually really wanted to wrestle me. Jacob has never had an intergender match. And he really wanted to wrestle me. I wanted to wrestle him too, because he's someone who is high flying. He's hard hitting. He's everything that I like to face in the ring. And not sadly, but greatly, it was actually offered for us to have a match, a singles match in Northern California. Unfortunately, neither of us were available the date that they got. So I almost got to wrestle Jacob Fatu as singles. But now he's in WWE and he's doing amazing things. You know what? There's no other spot that he deserves to be, because he's an amazing wrestler, and I'm so glad to see him out there doing some great stuff.
Yeah, and like we talk about the bloodline on this podcast, and like not in a favorable way, but we do give Jacob Fatu his flowers, because he is so good. Like, he shouldn't be able to do moonsaults and do everything that he does, because he's just such a big guy. So we always give him his credit, but we're definitely not a bloodline fans of Solo and them.
He loves him some Solo Sikoa, that's for sure.
He is so athletic. I remember watching him do a moonsault off a cage at PCW Ultra, and he's doing this barefoot, by the way. It's like, I mean, there's some people in this wrestling business that definitely just have this amazing athleticism and amazing power behind them. Definitely Jacob is one of them. Willie Mack for another one. Like, it's insane. And I love it. I love seeing people like that. And I love Jacob. I miss him.
Well, hopefully you'll get to see him soon.
When he's done worshiping Solo.
Yeah. Maddie, do you want to talk about your next question?
So obviously you've been wrestling for a very long time. Do you have a favorite opponent that you've wrestled, or somebody you feel you have like the best chemistry with when you step in the ring with them?
Delilah Doom. Okay. I don't know if you know who Delilah Doom is, but Delilah Doom.
I've heard the name.
Yeah.
She's she started on the East Coast, then she trained under Funaki in Texas.
Oh, wow.
She came to Southern California for a show, and she wound up just staying here. And me and Delilah have a chemistry like no other, to the point where I've wrestled her across 7 states, I think.
Damn.
I've wrestled her ad nauseum. Like, I've lost track of the matches that we've had each other, but we have the ultimate sort of rivalry and chemistry with each other, where it's like we've also tagged together. And when we tag together, that goes really well too. But I think people love seeing the dynamic of someone 5'9" wrestling someone who's like 5'3", and this tiny little thing. But it's definitely Delilah Doom.
Well, speaking of people that you have chemistry with, I also want to pull up another picture and talk about your tag team partner, Miss Heidi Howlitzer. Is that how you say it?
Howitzer.
Howitzer. Yeah. So I want to know, because in women's wrestling, I feel like tag teams are kind of the minority. So what is it like being in a tag team, and how do you feel the tag team wrestling can be improved for women?
I think so. Being in a tag team with Heidi, it's really interesting, because I had met Heidi like once or twice on the indies. The first time I met her, I did not like her. I didn't like what was happening in our match. I didn't like anything.
Oh no!
I didn't really interact with her too much, but she interacted with my partner at that given point. Second time I met her, like, we're fine, everything's cool. Third time I met her, she was being brought into WOW Women of Wrestling, and initially our first match was against each other. And it was a match that took place like literally like on the fly. They're like, hey, someone's hurt. You guys are going to wrestle now. And it's like, oh, okay, we're going to wrestle now. But it went really well. And then people saw us together, and they really just liked us together. They liked our dynamic. And I think that chemistry is one of those things that you can't fake. There's no way to fake chemistry. And for whatever reason, me and Heidi had it with each other, and she was there at WOW. And now that she's not at WOW, we didn't want to give that up, because we do really well together. So we were tagging on the indies as Las Cochinas.
Mm-hmm.
But she just broke her ankle.
No.
It's like
Oh my goodness.
have this weird tag team synergy where if something happens to her, it happens to me. If something happens to me, it happens to her. She broke her ankle in a match, and literally 1 week later, I tore my meniscus in my knee. And so it's like, well, I guess we're both off the shelf for a while. Okay, cool. At least we're both off the shelf together. But
you guys have like a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
real. Like it's for real. And I think it'll be great when we do get back to working conditions again.
Yeah.
But it's a little hard to tag because she's out of Kansas and I'm out of California. So it's the distance that makes it hard, but us together is amazing. And honestly, I think the thing that is lacking from women's wrestling when it comes to tag teams is just that genuine chemistry with one another. And when you have it, you know it, and you recognize the tag teams that do have it. Like, let's think about the indies right now, like Hex, Marty and Allison. Allison K. Like that is like one of the great ones. You'll recognize them because you see that they work well together. Honestly, I don't think you could work well together without that big chemistry with someone else.
Yeah.
Likely.
And I mean, do you keep up with like WWE and kind of their women's division? What do you think of their tag team division right now?
Yeah, so Cora Jade and I want to call her Roxy, but Roxanne.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's such a great matchup because they knew each other since the indies. Like, you have this, I don't want to say a feeding system, but when we had Shimmer, you got to meet a lot of other female wrestlers that were in California or even out of country. And I think that's where a lot of people got to be friends with other girls. It was like a meeting ground, a networking area. And then that's where I actually met Cora Jade. And that's where I didn't meet Roxy there. But like, when you cut your teeth from the same cloth, you know it. And you know, if you're coming from the same area, you kind of have that camaraderie. So it's awesome to see that. The one I was super impressed with at Halloween Havoc was, Stephanie, and I'm going to forget the other girl's name.
Julia.
Thank you. Is that her name? Julia. Okay.
Yeah.
That was amazing. And their chemistry with each other and then their style, it just worked. And you want that when it comes to tag teams. You want something that's so seamless and so flawless. And that's why I love me and Heidi, because oddly enough, even though I'm bigger than her, she's the strong one. And I'm the athletic one. I could do the flippy stuff. I could do the dive. I could do stuff like that. But Heidi is actually really strong because she should be a power lifter. And you have that sort of dynamic that just fits with each other. And like, that's what I saw when I saw the Halloween Havoc match with the tag match. So that was really nice to see.
Well, I really appreciate your insight, like coming from an actual wrestler who's in a tag team, because I feel like it's not talked about enough. So I really appreciate that. We do have a question from Captures by Jonathan, someone that we all know and tolerate. He says, how did you start working on WoW superheroes? So how did you get started in WoW? Did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them? How did that go about?
Yeah. So I was driving back from somewhere, some given point in my car. And I know exactly where I was on the 210 freeway that's for the reboot. Sorry. Let's go back to 2019 because I started working with WoW in 2019.
Oh, okay. So a long time.
I was literally sitting in where I'm sitting right now in my office and my phone rings and I'm like, I don't know what this number. I answered it. It's like, hi, this is David McClain from WoW. And I was like, what? What is happening? So literally David McClain called me out of nowhere. But the backstory is that I didn't know at that given point, Princess Aussie actually gave my name. They were looking for someone who was a big, menacing, imposing powerhouse type wrestler. And she's like, I know who that is. Look at my friend Ruby Raze. And so I didn't know that, but my phone just rang out of nowhere, and it was David McLean, and I literally had I kid you not, 2.5 hour talk with David McLean when he called, and he was like, "Hey, let me tell you about our company." And at that given point, I was like, "I already know about your company, sir. Just tell me." I will do whatever you want me to, like, you know. But he was really informative. He had told me about the entire company. He told me about the history of the company. He told me about Glow. He told me about this. I was like, tell me things I don't know, because I already knew this. And then he explained a lot of things about the contracts and how they run their contracts and this and that. And then he's partway through the conversation, he's like, if we offer you a contract, blah, blah, blah. And towards the end of the conversation, he's like, so when I send you this contract, and I was like,
yes.
But yeah, literally the whole reason I am at WoW is because of her, and she knew what they were looking for, and she knew who to put in for. And it was nice to hear that my name had been thrown around the company quite a bit, but I guess they never had that connection, like who could tell us more about her. So it was really nice to have that, and I'm very grateful for her to this day because of that.
Oh, that's so awesome. Like, and we had this, I think, Jessica Roden, J-Rod, I think she has started doing stuff with WoW recently. And do you know her? Like, have you guys crossed paths?
Oh yeah. I agent a couple of women's shows on my off time, and she was one of the people that has come across there. Besides there, she trained at Level Up in Southern California, San Diego specifically, and B-Boy's my best friend, like one of my best friends. So I've met her. Yeah. And she is at WoW. She was there this last taping time. So yeah, it was nice to see her there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And she's been on our show. Now you've been on our show, and I want to get more. So if anybody you know from WoW wants to come on our podcast, please tell them about it.
I can get you a bunch of them.
Well, Maddie, do you have any final questions before we send her off?
I love to ask this to anytime we have a wrestler on. What is your favorite type of match to wrestle?
I like the matches where I feel like I can hardly survive. And what I mean by that, I was very young in the business when I wrestled Candice LeRae, and at that given point, she had been wrestling for a long time. And I felt like I barely hung on to that match, and I barely got through that match. I was within a year of me starting to be a professional wrestler. I wrestled her, Lufisto, Taya Valkyrie. I wrestled for The Crash. I wrestled like for all these like really great companies and with all these amazing female wrestlers. So I like the matches where I feel I'm not going to survive, and I'm not going to get this done. I just really might mess something up like really bad, but let's find out. Let's find out. And I really love storytelling matches, which is why I love wrestling with Delilah Doom, because there's always an inbuilt story there. And I love, just anything that really pushes my creativity to the edges. I love that sort of stuff.
That is so cool.
Well, thank you so much, Ruby, for hanging out with us for a bit. We appreciate you so much, and you can come back on anytime you want.
Please, yes.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys.
Have a good rest of your day. Bye. Oh, she was so awesome.
I always get like very nervous when we do these interviews because I'm like, oh, you're like really cool. And
I know, right? I'm always like, we're not cool enough to be talking to these people.
I love that we get to hang out with people outside of that's out of our league.
I know, we have such imposter syndrome though. It's so funny.
I want to give a shout out to Mindrunner, who I see in the chat. What's going on? How you doing?
Oh, we should have asked her if she's been at a Mission Pro Wrestling.
Yeah,
it all would have been crossed over, but
I'm
it's
not
all
gonna
right.
lie. I was laughing real hard when we brought up Jacob, and then I just see these comments. I love you so low.
I love you so low. Oh gosh, at Crown Jewel, he was screaming it at the top of his lungs.
That man loves Solo.
Like I said, I hope everyone finds someone who loves them as much as Jacob loves Solo.
We can
But
only dream.
that's a great segue into Crown Jewel, which
Yes, it's
happened
time
yesterday.
to pretend to give a shit about Crown Jewel.
I know, we're kind of like, guys, we're gonna rapid fire this because let's be real. And let me just say, I think this Crown Jewel was better than some of the ones in the past.
I actually liked it. I liked the show. Hot
Oh,
take.
okay, period.
I actually liked it. I was surprised when I went online and saw a lot of people being like, this show is ass. I'm like, oh, really? I actually kind of liked it. I don't know.
Well, let me just say, I told you that Roman and the Usos were going to face Temu Bloodline. You didn't believe me, but
yeah,
that was our opening match, was the OTC Bloodline versus Temu Bloodline. I mean, again, Jacob Fatu, he's just insane. He's an insane athlete. It's just so crazy.
I had somebody in my comment section being like, do you think he goes to sleep doing that? And he wakes up like, Solo.
he just rises and goes, I love you so. But this match, I think this match was very much like a storytelling match. Yeah. Like what Ruby was talking about. You had Jay come out separate from Roman and Jimmy, and he came out after them, which is like he got that not headliner spot, but kind of like he was the last person introduced. And you could see throughout the match that Jay still doesn't trust Roman, and he didn't want to tag him in because he didn't want Roman to still be telling him what to do. And so that caused a rift. And then Mr. Samuel Zayn came out after the match, and we had some more trouble because he accidentally hit Roman. And Temu Bloodline won. Hopefully we're getting a second round
taking the pin.
Yeah, with Roman taking the pin, which is crazy.
I feel like that was like, I don't know, maybe it's just me thing, but I feel like that was glossed over because it's just very, crazy to see Roman taking pins. But I guess now that he doesn't have the title, there's not much to like protect him from doing that. I saw somebody say something like, well, now that he's not champion, he's kind of giving back in terms of like taking the pin, putting over other people. This is definitely leading into War Games. I think. Oh no, were they actually doing that? That man is like a rabid dog.
Did you see?
Oh my God, cow!
Did you see that match though? Like
the 6 minute.
Yeah. Like, did you watch the whole thing? Okay, I'm sorry. When he was like crawling on the mat like a dog when it's scraping its butt on a rug, bro, be so for real. Be so for real. I can't with him. He is so unserious.
Unserious Bloodline.
Yeah, but this match was all right. I mean, it was just was story. It was for the plot. So I wasn't expecting like a 5-star match.
No.
And obviously we didn't pick winners for this because we didn't include it in the original one. But
no.
I would have said Temu Bloodline because I'm assuming that OTC Bloodline's going to win a Survivor Series. So
yeah. Do you think Sammy's going to be on their team?
I mean,
they're hinting at it like heavily.
Yes, but I feel like it's going to take like 3 weeks for them to get there. And then finally Roman will be like, fine.
I'm like, whatever. Well, also Jimmy don't like him either. So,
well, yeah.
Kevin Owens will really be raging out then.
Oof. Oh my gosh. Yeah. He'll be like, really, Sammy? Really?
Like after everything.
Yeah. Next up, we had the women's tag team fatal 4-way. Bianca and Jade retained, like we said. Once again, okay, this Riyadh crowd was very good, except for this match.
Yeah.
And okay, girl, I'm not trying to be the villain, and I know you love Bianca. But I did not love their ring gear for this. Like,
me neither.
This was like one of my least favorite ring gears that they've ever done, or that she's ever done.
It just sucked. Like, I'm so tired of the bodysuits. It's dumb. I'm sorry. Like, the men can go out there. Gunther's out there in some undies.
That's because he's a man. So
And that's my
It's-
problem. But
yeah, it's different culture. But she's had amazing bodysuits in the past. So I don't know. This one just wasn't hitting for
Yeah.
me. Lash and Jakara look good except for their one little mishap. Io and Kyrie. Like, Io is so good. Like it's insane how good she is. Her and Kyrie had a little mishap though, and then
Did it?
yeah, they were trying to do like a move together, and then it like Io like slipped or something, or it was when they were against the
Net of girls.
no, I'm trying to say when they were against the ropes. There we go.
Oh, accidents.
I couldn't think. But and then we had Piper. She accidentally squashed Chelsea.
Chelsea can never catch a break.
And once again, Chelsea being the MVP of comedy, and she was gonna go from the top, and then she was like, went from the middle, went from the bottom.
I worship her. She's so funny.
I know, she's so good. I enjoyed this match. I really did.
Yeah, it was good.
I think it got a little lost at one point. I didn't know who was legal and who wasn't. It was kind of just a little bit all over the place. But I think they all pulled out really good moves. I think everyone looked really good.
Period.
And I think the right winners won. So
exactly. Thank God this was not in the pre-show. Yay!
Snaps.
So we're both 1 for 1 as predictions turn out so far.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think this match was next. Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. I think I chose Seth, and you chose.
Who
Bronson.
did I have?
Let me look. I think you chose Bronson. I think you thought that he was gonna win. And I think I said
yeah, I did.
I said Bronson. Seth as like half joke, and then he won.
This is the thing. Like, this would have been a great place to have Bronson Reed win because, like, come on, guys, nobody cares about Crown Jewel. Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So this is like the one PLE where it's like, oh, you can have somebody take a loss. Granted, like, Bronson looked really strong in defeat, and that was a great move. Like, he took like 3 stomps, and then the end of the match, he's already standing up and like eyeing Seth down. But it's like, I don't know. This would have been a great place for him to have a win. And I know it's not obviously Seth's choice, and if it was Seth's choice, that's a tongue twister. He probably would have had Bronson win because he's so good at like putting people over like that. But I do think that this would have been a great place to have him win, especially since they're continuing this feud.
Which, even though Seth is going to be in the Fatal 4-Way tomorrow to decide Gunther's next opponent.
I know. Did you see the Raw spoilers?
Only that.
Oh, so you don't know who wins the match? Okay, well, lip seal.
Oh, is it already filmed?
That's the thing. Like, I know like pretty much everything that happens on Raw tomorrow. So spoilers.
Womp womp.
I guess it's pre-filmed.
I guess I knew SmackDown was pre-filmed, but I didn't know that Raw was too. That makes sense though, because they're in Ireland right now. So
nice.
This match was fine. It was very aggressive. You know, they really were going for the jugular. I'll be honest, I didn't really pay attention the whole time during this match.
I mean, it's like one of those matches where you know it's gonna be good, so it's like, what else is there really to say? I think they're both just really, really great. Seth, obviously, especially.
I think they're great at what they do. You know.
Yeah. Bronson Reed, like,
oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Bronson Reed. Like, I'm not a super huge fan, but he's really freaking good, and so for him to be getting a bit more of a spotlight is really cool.
Love that for you.
Mary's a hater.
Sorry, I just find him boring.
Really quick, Junior says Bronson girl. I mean, obviously we know Mary's answer based on that. I wanna yes and no. Yes, because I enjoy watching him wrestle. I think he's really, really good. No, because his character is just like a big And that's like, there's really no, so that's where I understand where Mary's saying that she finds it boring, because there's just not a lot of like personality there. So hopefully with this feud, we're able to see more of that.
Yeah. Well, our next match was Liv Morgan and Nia Jax in the middle of the card for some reason.
Yeah.
But let me just say, to all the people who are saying this was a bad match, you're wrong. You're wrong.
I mean, like, Mary, it wasn't great.
Okay, but it wasn't bad either. People are like, this was terrible. And I'm like, no, it wasn't.
Terrible. It was not terrible. It was not terrible. If my problem was that it was too short. I thought it was too short.
Yeah, for sure. It felt like they were low on time.
Oh, chat is not agreeing with us. Damn.
Liv 2 belts, even though the belt doesn't really mean anything. I don't care. Cry about it. Cry about it to your mama, not me.
I don't think it was really bad. I think you guys in the comments are tripping a little bit.
Yeah,
y'all I get it. I get it. Some of y'all don't like Liv, but like, let's not just say a match is bad because she's in it. I really loved the match that Liv and Nia had back on Raw, and it was really, really good. So this was a bit of a step down for me, but I also think when you're in front of a crowd that doesn't really give a shit about women's wrestling, that can kind of put some pressure on you. I don't think they were given enough time, and obviously when you're not given enough time, you're not going to have as great of a match. My props to Nia Jax. I love her. She's so funny, and she just continues to improve in the ring. I was kind of sad she didn't win, to be honest. And like, I'm kind of surprised that I'm saying that, because I do love Liv so much, but I just, again, I said it last week, I feel like Nia has improved so much, and I think that this would have been a really cool win for her, and she would have been able to win clean, something that Liv yet again did not do.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I truly thought she was gonna win. I'm pretty sure we both said her, no?
We did both predict Nia to win, yeah.
Yeah, so this was a shock to me that Liv won. But once again, Liv Morgan making history.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and y'all are so mad. And I don't care.
I do love how mad people are, but like it's very funny that this one woman who doesn't even know you exist can piss you off so bad. And then tomorrow we are getting a new #1 contender for her, so she's finally gonna face somebody that's not Rhea. Thank God.
Yay.
Jesus.
But let us just say, I'm very sad that Rhea is actually injured.
Is that legit?
Well, they showed the X-rays, so I'm assuming that it is.
Yeah, but that X-ray just looked like so WWE coded.
You think they'll just like put fake X-rays? I don't know.
Haven't they done that before?
I don't know. If she's actually injured, though, I'm really sorry, and I hope she gets better quickly. If it's just a work, then I hope that's the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm ready for Liv to have a new opponent. Do you think that it could be someone from NXT, or do you think they're gonna let women on Raw actually duke it out for a chance?
I know who it is. I saw the
No, I keep forgetting that you already know everything.
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want to like do that. But what I will say is I'm very excited about it. I think it's something that I've seen a lot. It's something I've seen a lot of people want. And now that we're finally getting it, it's going to be very cool.
Girl, now I want to know.
I could tell you like when we go off. But
yeah.
Oh, you know, yeah, because chat.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be
because of the chat. I mean, unless y'all already know, don't say it in the comments. But
if you already know, don't say it, because don't spoil it for anybody else.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited that she's going to be getting a new opponent. And let me just say, Tiffany Stratton, that yellow and pink was so cute. It was so cute. And
she looked good.
Even though I'm struggling with Tiffany right now, because I'm trying to separate her from her personal self of like...
Oh, what does she do now?
Didn't you say she was a Trump supporter?
I saw like rumors about that, but I didn't want to like fully go on with it.
Well, if that's true, like I'm trying to just keep it separate because I just love her in the ring so much. But I'm glad she did not cash in. I think that would have been silly. So
especially again in front of that crowd, like
who wouldn't have appreciated it.
No, she deserves a better crown.
Yeah. And again, I'm still waiting for my briefcase. I'll hopefully be getting it next month. So
by the time you get it, she won't be Miss Money in the Bank anymore.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Damn.
Next up, we didn't get a match technically between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. They didn't even get to the match, didn't even ring the bell. This was just an all-out brawl.
For real.
My poor Randy with his poor back.
I like the way that they did this. It kind of saved time for other matches and also just kind of built up more like I kind of was surprised that this was happening so quickly. Adam Pearce did get RKO'd. That was beautiful.
Oh my gosh, that man.
Randy had just had enough. He's like, man, shut up. Get out of my business. Like, what are you all doing all this talking? I agree. It does need a stipulation, Trey. So I'll be excited for that. But I enjoyed the brawl. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I think we need like a steel cage or like no holds barred or something. But yeah, so obviously this wasn't a real match, so we don't have a winner. So I don't think this should count towards our scores.
No. It was fun though. It was fun to watch.
Yeah. Next, we had a match that we both forgot was even on the card. Because literally after after Randy, I was like, oh, it's just the Cody and Gunther match, right? And he's like, no.
Somebody got mad at me. They're like, how did you forget? Like, this was the best match. It's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I've had a busy week. Damn.
Which this was a very good match, but I forgot that it was even on the card because when was the last time the US title was on the line at a pay-per-view?
PLE, Mary.
Okay, I thought we said we weren't going to say that.
And yeah, LA Knight still champ. I believe I was correct on this one.
I really wanted Carmelo Hayes to win, y'all. I really did.
Yeah, well, he didn't.
I know. It's just going to have to wait.
But I like the way that it was done, too, because I feel like it protected everybody, in a sense.
But I mean, not to be rude, I feel like he was the weakest in this match, though.
And he always gets hate for forgetting something. I just have Alzheimer's. Leave me alone. I don't know if he was the weakest. It's just hard when it's hard to shine through and really stand out when you're in the ring with Carmelo Hayes because he's just so freaking incredible. Andrade as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think LA Knight's really good in the ring. Do I think he's one of the best? No, but he's good and best U.S. champ since John Cena. Well, we've had terrible U.S. champs, so that's not really saying a whole lot. I mean, look at the last U.S. champ for God's sakes. So
did Carmelo not get a pop? I don't remember that. I mean, maybe he didn't, but I don't know. I didn't pay attention to the pops really.
No, me neither. If there were any. But
LA Knight got a big one, obviously. They love him over there.
Yeah. And I wonder like who he's gonna defend against next. Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Hopefully Loogie Paul stays away.
Yeah, nobody needs that.
Apparently he's on like 2 years of paternity. So bye.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Well, we'll take what we can get.
Do you think this match was match of the night? I know some people said that in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I would say it's hard.
I think I'd agree with that.
Yeah, this one and Cody and Gunther were definitely the best matches. But this one was just really Carmelo Hayes is just so good. Andrade got his moment to shine. I really hope that he doesn't end up being overlooked because he is just really good, and especially coming from AEW where he was kind of overlooked there. So hopefully they continue this kind of momentum for him and continue to give him stuff to do.
Yeah. Well, last but certainly not least was Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
Oop, I said Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes versus Gunther.
Gunther.
I think I was trying to say Cody and Gunther at the same time, so then I said Cody Rhodes. I don't know.
Cody Gunther.
No Goldberg interference, which I know a lot of people
Oh,
were
yeah.
speculating.
Thank God.
It was a clean win for Cody, even though it was like a surprise roll up, but it's fine. It's a win's a win.
I mean, I liked the ending because it was the same with like Seth and Bronson's match where it made Gunther look very strong in defeat, and he didn't look weak. He just looked outsmarted. So,
and the crowd was here for this match.
Yeah, they love Cody.
They were popping off for Cody, and I love that Gunther was like interacting with them, like mocking them and stuff. He's so good.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people are hating on Gunther right now, but like, I don't know. I don't get it.
They'll always find something to hate on. I saw a lot of people saying he should have won.
Yes. I know a lot of people feel that way, that Cody Rhodes winning was the wrong decision. I disagree. No. Cody's the face of the company. If they were going to put this big of a thing on someone, it makes sense that it's Cody and not Gunther. Because guess who's going to go do the interviews with this title? It's going to be Cody. It's not going to be Gunther. Like, that just is what it is from my perspective. But I know a lot of people think that Gunther should have won.
I think with the way, if Cody had done a Crossroads and then beat him that way, I probably would have been a little upset about that, because I'm like, why are you having him lose completely clean? And he did lose clean, but like the way it was done was like, oh, Gunther's about to win, but Cody came prepared. Cody was ready for this. He knew Gunther was going to try and choke him out, so he had a plan, and there you go. I thought it was very well done. So,
and this was a wrestling match, not just a wrestling match. It was a wrestling match.
It was.
These are two guys who love pro wrestling, love the art form of pro wrestling, and just want to wrestle, And like, I think that was why I was really looking forward to this match, because like they have similar styles but still slightly different, obviously, but like they're very rooted to the ground, and sometimes you need that. Sometimes you don't need all the high flying hoop-de-loop,
Yeah. And I like that Gunther showed some respect at the end and shook Cody's hand. I thought that was cool, because we know it's very rare for Gunther to show respect.
Yeah.
So he earned that, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. And then Cody and Liv took pictures with...
That was crazy.
Those people, I don't know who they were, sorry. And Triple H, but they had their moment. They each went up on the ring post and held up the titles. They got their rings backstage. Those rings are huge, by the way.
Yeah, like Super Bowl rings.
I feel like it like weighs down Liv's finger. But I saw the video of like Cody trying to get it on. He was like,
oh yeah, that was hilarious,
shoving that thing on.
It was so cool to see, like, just from where Liv started, now she's beside Cody Rhodes, like holding the same title. Like, that was cool,
Tyler said Liv definitely broke character. So what? It was her moment. Let her have her moment.
I think she was just so happy. And also like, wait, I'm on the same level as like, well, not the same level, but I won the same title as Cody Rhodes. That's cool.
Like I'm getting the same honor as Cody Rhodes. Like, that's
very awesome.
That's a big moment for her. And like, people who, who hate on her, I feel like you still need to respect where she is right now. Like, they see her as a top woman in this division. And so I feel like that needs to, like be put into people's mindset. Like, hey, they see her as a top woman, or else she wouldn't have won this thing.
Yeah.
And,
it is
obviously
what it is.
There was shenanigans, but a win's a win.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess like you can make the argument that, well, she has beaten Nia clean before, so it's not like she's fully incapable of doing it. She just came prepared, although I really would have loved if Dom and Raquel were not at ringside, but whatever.
Yeah, and people also like saying that for some reason I saw a lot of people hating on Raquel after this, and I was like, why?
I mean, she is like the most useless bodyguard.
No.
She doesn't do anything. It takes one kick to knock her out, and then she's out of the ring, or she's running away alongside Liv. And it's like, no, girl, you're supposed to be getting out there and doing, like, she has not really added much at all. So we'll see.
Well, maybe they'll fix it. Maybe.
Maybe.
So overall, what would you give Crown Jewel out of 10?
Yeah, she had one job, Dre. I'm gonna go with I'm thinking either a 6.5 or a 7.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with a 7.
A 7? So
Yeah.
a C.
A C.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah. I think Money in the Bank was still worse.
Yeah, Money in the Bank was definitely worse, which is so unfortunate because I love that pay-per-view.
I know.
It just wasn't good.
They better not screw up Royal Rumble, man.
Yeah. Well, we have Survivor Series this month.
Are you serious? Oh! Right.
It's at the end of the month.
God. We're getting back into the season of being exhausted from all these fucking shows.
So 2 pay-per-views in the same month. So we'll have like 2 weeks of not doing predictions, and then it'll be back to predictions.
Just so you guys know, we get exhausted by doing the predictions and reviews. Like, I like to have the freedom to do shit.
Yeah, I mean, I like doing predictions because like it is fun, but
yeah, but not back to back to back to back.
Yeah, that's just a little much. Well, what do you foresee with Survivor Series besides the Bloodline?
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, with the Bloodline, it's gonna be Temu line versus OTC line.
Well, I meant besides
that. Yeah. I would have told you Team Liv versus Team Rhea, but now I'm like, I don't know if Rhea will be back. A lot of people saying that she should come back and win the Royal Rumble. Hell no.
She already won.
Hell no. No, give that to somebody else. She doesn't need that. Maybe she can win like Elimination Chamber or something. I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. We don't really have like besides Liv and Rhea, we don't really have like a super strong women's rivalry right now.
People are saying give NXT women the War Games match.
That would be way more fun. They've got great feuds down there right now. And if they're not planning on having Roxanne drop the title anytime soon, they might as well.
Yeah, well, I know they're doing it's either 4-on-4 or 5-on-5. I know they're doing that at I don't know what the next show is for
the
NXT,
10 women tag match.
Yeah, so I know they're doing that, but maybe that'll turn into the War Games match. I don't know.
I understand Caparia could win the Rumble. The point is she shouldn't. That's the point. Do you have an idea of who you want to win the Royal Rumble? A lot of people are saying Io. I don't really want that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I was banking on Liv losing the title, so then she could win so that she could win the Rumble. But if she's gonna still have the title by then, I mean,
Bianca Belair.
Girl, Jade maybe.
Nah, hell no.
No, you don't think
Charlotte Flair would be lit.
She's already won.
But it's Charlotte Flair.
So people say the same thing about Becky Lynch. They're like, oh, Becky could win again. And I'm like, please no.
Yeah, no, not after last year. Naomi, a lot of people are thinking Naomi.
Oh, I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for Naomi to win.
Like,
I mean, if Roxanne lose her title, I could see her making history and having a Rumble win, but I don't know. Right now it's so up in the air.
But I like
that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Jinx, period.
This question, I need a break from Rhea. I need a timeout from Rhea. I'm exhausted. So right now, no.
But eventually.
As long as Bianca wins, yeah.
Cap, you're so unserious.
The thing is, he's serious.
John Cena cannot win the Royal Rumble. We do not need that. There's no reason.
Yeah, no. Sorry, Cap.
Junior said Kyrie. I don't see them doing that, but
no.
If Tiffany hadn't won the briefcase, I could have seen her win the Rumble. But she won the briefcase, so
I would say my top
I know
three.
you're serious. I know.
Yeah. I would say my top 3 is who the hell did I say? Oh, Naomi, Roxanne, and I would
What
love
about Lyra? Oh yeah,
I was gonna say Lyra, but like they're not doing that.
no, I don't think so either.
But Lyra. I'll put Lyra. Low-key, I want Becky. Hell no. Hell no. No. She doesn't need
No.
a Royal Rumble win to be at WrestleMania. You guys know that.
No, she doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Really quick before we head out, I want to tell you, I had a dream the other day that the Bellas came back,
God.
and they came back and won the tag titles, and I was so happy.
No.
And I'm hoping that I'm manifesting.
As long as they're not taking it from Bianca and Jade, because hell no.
Yeah, I don't know why I had that dream. I think I was just like, I was probably thinking about the women's tag titles before I went to sleep or something.
Fangirling in your dreams, yeah.
Always. What do you mean?
Oh my God.
But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thanks again to Ruby for hanging out with us in the beginning half of this episode. She was so cool. Make sure to follow her and I don't even know what I'm saying. Follow her on Instagram, on X, subscribe to the podcast, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere else. Junior said, only in your dreams, Mary, only in your dreams. Rude. And we will see you guys next Sunday. Take us out, Maddie.
Logan Paul is garbage. See you guys.